Thank you for choosing the In the Spotlight radio show tonight. My guest tonight is a woman who has or is doing something bold and unprecedented. Launching a political party in the diaspora. Her name is Saphire Carrington, and she is my guest tonight on the In the Spotlight radio show. Seems to be quite a highly anticipated one tonight. But before I start, based on some things I saw circulating on social media and otherwise, I want to set something straight tonight before we even start. You all should know what the In the Spotlight radio show is all about. It's all about featuring the lives of our people, their stories, in whatever field. And tonight, it is in the field of politics. I'm here every Monday night, and I do this show. And I allow my guests to tell their stories. And those of you who listen to this show know that I am also very. So those of you who have any particular intentions for tonight's program, I'm giving you advanced warning. It is up to you to choose to listen or view if you want to. My guest is here, and I'll have a conversation with her like I do with every other guest tonight. So I don't want anybody trying to bully me or pressure me into changing the format or the way that I normally do this show. I just wanted to say that from the onset. All the same, thank you so much for choosing us tonight, and thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. I know we have a record viewership and listenership tonight. And we do appreciate it. But remember, as I said before, what this show is all about. Keep it locked. We're coming right back on the In the Spotlight radio show.
Got nothing.
Yes.
That can you can never reveal.
What you want?
You can. And you can never, yes.
Touching the human and personal side of politics, religion, sports, music, culture, the media, and more.
But that battery there, man.
Law farmers, public servants.
My sister said,
That battery there.
what?
Listen to their
No, I
stories.
charged that today.
No limitations, no restrictions, no bar. In the spotlight.
That's a share.
Spotlight.
Oh, but you remember the password?
No, it's automatically.
No, it's not. I tried to log on the other day.
In the spotlight.
No, that I think on the browser. No, that.
Oh,
On the browser.
Yeah. In the spotlight.
See? Chelsea and Apple. You should tell her we see you on Facebook and tell people to go on Facebook.
A few acknowledgements as we begin. As usual, we really want to thank Q95 FM Radio for giving us this platform to have this program every Monday night. So thank you to Mr. Gregoire. We want to acknowledge Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited. They provide us with our Twapito water. The Garaway Hotel is also the official hotel of the In the Spotlight radio show, providing accommodation and breakfast for guests who are unable to return home after the program. Thank you for that. Innovate Multimedia. Thank you for always supporting us with our flyer and whatever other production we need for the program. Thank you, guys. And of course, if you would like to be a sponsor of this program, talk to the folks here at Q95 and get on board. And now, for why we're here tonight. I got to know this young lady, and I don't know, for whatever reason, you know, I think she has a good spirit, a good vibe. And on my program, you know, I know you all know how I do it. And that's exactly how we're going to do it tonight. Okay, folks? At some point, we will open up the lines to engage you. And all I ask of you when you call to the program tonight is that you be respectful. Be respectful of me, be respectful of my guests, and be respectful of my program. Saphire, good night to you, my dear.
Good night, and thank you for having me. Good night, listeners.
It is my pleasure to have you on the program tonight. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, thank you.
All right, thank you so much for accepting the invite to be here on the program. As I've said before, you know, I've had the opposition leader, Honorable Lennox Linton, on the program. I've had the new leader of the Dominican Freedom Party on the program as well. At some point, I hope I will have the Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt on the program as well. And we have tonight, we're giving the opportunity to Saphire, who is the founder of the People's Party of Dominica. And tonight, what we're about, we want to learn about Saphire, and we want to learn about the People's Party of Dominica, what this party is all about, plans, and everything that we need to know. We're going to try our best to get to know tonight from Saphire. So, Saphire Carrington, who are you?
I am a Dominican citizen, ready to take on the challenge of being in the political arena and serving my country.
What a Dominican citizen, what part of Dominica are you from?
I was born, like most people, at the Princess Margaret Hospital. I grew up in Kingfield. Then I moved to Goodwill. And my parents, my mom is from Vegas, but grew up in Fort Ney. And my dad is from Point Michelle, grew up in the heart of Roseau.
Okay. Do you have any siblings?
I have 5 sisters. So, yes, I have 5 sisters. My dad is pretty active, like most people's dads. Yeah, I have 5 sisters. I have a brother in Florida.
Let us talk about your life growing up in Dominica. You were born in Princess Margaret Hospital, but then you moved on to...
Well, lived in Kingfield. We lived on the Kingfield on the flat right across the airport.
For about what period of time?
A good 10 years.
A good 10 years. So you did you grow up in Vegas at all?
No, well, we visited Vegas. Obviously, my grandmother lived in Vegas.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So from Kingfield, you then moved on to Goodwill?
Goodwill. I used to live on Bowers Lane for 1 year, and then I lived on Canal Lane.
All right. Tell me about life growing up in Dominica, Saphire.
It was beautiful, amazing. Coming back here, it reminds me a lot of nostalgia kicks in when you're away. So just seeing kids around reminds me of me growing up playing marble hole, skip, you know, hopscotch. It's fun.
It was fun growing up. All right. Tell us a little bit more about your family background. Tell us a little bit more about your mom, a little bit more about your dad as well.
My mom worked for cables, everybody knows cables and wireless. I grew up in cable and wireless. And my dad used to do the boat. I'm sure a lot of people know about Dawes and Ile de Cirque. So he was a captain going back and forth to Guadeloupe. And that's it.
That's about it. All right. So life growing up in Dominica, you went to what schools did you?
Miss Burton School, and then I moved on to Convent Prep, and then obviously Convent High School, which I loved. And I did Convent High School up till I was going into fourth form.
Into fourth form.
And then I migrated to the US.
You migrated to the US. And we'll talk a bit about your migration to the US and why you migrated in a while. But we're trying to get to know a bit more about the person.
Sure.
In terms of your personality, what type of personality would you say that you have?
Well, I'm a Libra, so you'll find I'm pretty balanced. Some people say I'm very fair, fun, super fun. That's it. I'm pretty simple, easygoing.
Pretty simple.
Pretty simple, pretty easygoing.
The name Saphire, that's an interesting name.
Mm-hmm.
Is that name original?
Well, I actually was born with the name Claudine Williams.
Claudine
Yes.
Williams.
Yes, Williams.
That's a far cry from Saphire.
It is. And I had a case of identity theft in the US. So the easiest way to get around it was pretty much to just change names, change social, change everything.
Oh.
So it was an interesting process.
What was that like?
Scary, different, you know. I actually cried a lot because of my last name. My dad passed away. So I felt like I was losing part of me, you know. But you have to do what you have to do.
The person who stole your identity, what did they do? How did that happen?
Well, besides the regular, you know, use your credit cards, use your bank cards, use your driver's license, they were also filing my taxes in the IRS, so it got real serious. So it was pretty interesting.
At what point in your life did that happen?
That happened, well, when I found the way it became really big was when they started to file my taxes, which was in 2010 and 11. Yeah, so it got pretty crazy.
And that led to you changing.
Well, the IRS and Social Security recommended that I change it right away.
And you changed it to Saphire. How did you go around choosing Saphire?
My big eyes. My grandma used to tell me I have big bright eyes back, you know, like the big blue sky. So Saphire. Plus I like the stone. I think it's beautiful. So I did that as my middle name, Saphire Skylar. And my last name, actually, when I first did the changeover, it was Nicole Saphire Skylar Williams.
Say that again. Nicole
Saphire Skylar Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went back, they said you can't keep Williams, and that's where the whole cry happened. And then I had to go back again and change it to, and I came up with Carrington. Honestly, if you grew up watching Dynasty, the joke was, you know, I used to say, oh, I want Mr. Carrington to be my dad. So it was one of those spur of the moment things that I had to make a decision.
And that's a true story.
That is exactly, yes, that's exactly what happened. Yep. They literally marched me down to I don't know, some kind of office to change names. And they were like, she has to change the Williams.
How long did that process take?
Oh,
From the time there was the identity theft situation to
well, they had to make sure it was factual, you know, like it's really identity theft. So there's a lot of investigation. The IRS investigates everybody, and then it's coming up with a solution, and it's pretty interesting. It's still going on actually. So because I have to also, they want me to change my kids' names, and I'm like, pause. Let me digest me first.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
That's incredible.
It's life changing actually.
Yes.
Yeah. But
it happened, and it is what it
you
is.
gotta keep moving.
All right, but I think you chose a beautiful name, Saphire.
Thank you.
And even the last name I think is quite interesting because I really wanted to know where did the Carrington come from. There's no Carrington in Dominica.
Well, I found out actually there's a few, but which is crazy because they wanted me to have zero association with anything because I was like, can I do Lee Black? Can I do James? Can I do, you know? Nope, zero association.
But what does that mean though for your history, your family history, your family tree, that kind of thing, you know?
You change your name. It's just like I came to Dominica and I have to legally do it in Dominica as well. because I obviously can't have two identities.
So do you reference that last name at all? I mean, have you come across situations where you've had to actually reference your previous name?
Yes, I still have to use both. I have situations where I need to use both, so they give me IDs, even though they're expired, that I have to walk with to show it's the same person.
What was the lesson from that experience?
Protect your identity, take out the highest insurance cost you can, the highest insurance coverage. So, because a lot of expenses come out of it, you know, it's pretty interesting.
Okay, but in terms of precautions though, does that mean you're pretty skeptical about using credit cards and debit cards?
I don't use credit cards at all. If I don't have cash, I don't do it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because it's to the point where they can track you. Once they have you, you know, it continues. So you have to be very protective of the name. You have to, you know, the new name, because then they can easily track again.
Okay.
So it's something that's
interesting.
Ongoing.
Quite interesting. So at age before you got to fourth form, you had to leave Dominica. What caused that migration?
Well, my mom migrated, like I mean most people's parents, right? They migrate for a better life into the U.S. and she, as they would say, sent for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you moved to the U.S.
Yeah, unknowing.
What was life like, you know, in terms of moving from Dominica, where we are familiar with one culture, and then we move to the US where the culture is really, really different? Well, at least I know at that stage in your life it must have been quite different. What was that like?
It is a different, you know, culture. But for the most part, I thought my mom was very good at doing a good transition. So coming from convent, you're in a small high school. She moved me to an all-girl high school, private school in New York. So that was amazing. I have to say it was amazing. I think my largest class had like 12 kids. So that part of it made it easier.
So you adapted easily?
Pretty much. I mean, I was in an environment where people were more focused on grades and pushing forward, you know. So, yeah.
From that school, what was your next level?
In terms of education, I went on to do my bachelor's. Was studying political science for 3 years. And then I transitioned out of that because the class that graduated before, they weren't getting jobs. And I was just like, I'm not graduating, paying all this money for college and not getting a job. So I switched my major. And at that point, I switched to behavioral science. And I moved on to do a master's in organizational leadership and in education.
All right, let us talk about, and we'll come back to the other aspect of your life in just a while. So let's talk about the educational level. So you got to bachelor's, and you did what in bachelor's?
So I did my bachelor's of science in behavioral science, and then I did my first master's in organizational leadership, which falls under business administration, and then I did education.
Tell me about behavioral science. What's that about?
It's basically understanding how people behave. You just basic human behavior. It's basically a combination of anthropology, sociology, and psych. So it's
why that particular field?
I love people. I love studying people, body language, movements, their eyes, their facial expressions. So for me, it was just, you understand people, you learn how to communicate with people, you can get around in this world.
And you think that would become important in your life plan?
Oh yeah, it's one of those degrees that you can use anywhere, any job you go to, you know, you gain skills that you're able to use. So I always say it's between that or communications, you know, as a general degree.
And then the master's was done in what again?
Organizational leadership.
Organizational leadership. Tell me about organizational leadership.
Basically teaching you how to manage, you know, different and be leaders in different organizations, whether it's not-for-profit, government, schools. You just learn how to lead businesses and do it well and effectively.
And you have a master's in that?
Yes.
Okay. And in terms of education, the educator aspect,
So education, I did grades 1 through 6 as my master's, but I actually taught grades 5 through 9 middle school, and I taught science and math.
So is that 2 masters or?
2, yeah.
You have 2 masters, one in organizational leadership and one in education. Interesting, Saphire. And so, so you completed all of this. Did you move on to PhD at all?
I started and then I stopped because I felt it was a poor financial decision.
Really?
Yes.
How so?
Well, for me as a teacher, you only can make so much, right? So there's a way the union chart works, and it was only maybe making $1,000 difference a year, and to pick up a bill, I didn't see the financial benefit.
So you quit.
I don't know what quit is, but I stopped.
You see,
because it made no sense. Again, if something makes no sense, you just
it made no financial sense to you. Because even if you got that PhD and you remained in that particular field,
it would not have advanced.
It would not have. Okay. So you taught?
Yeah, 10 years.
10 years as a teacher. Grades, you said 1 to 6?
5 through 9.
5 through 9. That's what age group?
Anywhere between, let's say, 11 and 16. Some of them were 18, up to 18, middle school. Yeah.
What are some of the schools that you worked at?
Well, I worked at one school in New York City. I stayed there for the 10 years, and it was in the Bronx.
It was in the Bronx. So you taught. You lived in the U.S.
Yes.
From the time you left Dominica.
Yes.
And you went overseas.
Yes.
You lived in the U.S. more so in New York.
New York, a few other states. Yes.
And a few other states.
Yes.
And you taught for 10 years.
I taught 10 years. Yes.
You taught for 10 years. And what was it like teaching?
It's fun. I mean, I have a passion for it, so it's fun. I love the kids. So I still talk with my kids, even though I'm no longer teaching. You always remain a teacher, so it's interesting.
All right, so no more teaching for you.
I wouldn't say no more teaching. I think that once you teach, you're always a teacher, Even with the politics, I'm constantly educating. It's just I do it by default.
So why did you stop teaching?
More of a personal reason, and I may go back. Who knows?
You may go back.
I don't have a crystal ball.
All right, Saphire, so you lived in the U.S. Did you start a family in the U.S.?
I have 2 daughters. I was married for about 12 years.
You were married for 12 years.
Yeah, and I have 2 beautiful daughters that can't wait to come to Dominica, and they keep calling and saying, "Did you find a house yet?" So they're excited.
About what age range?
16 and 19 now.
16 and 19. You have teenagers.
Yes, beautiful teenagers.
Okay. So you're no longer married. You've moved on from that.
Yeah, I'm married to Dominica right now.
Is that the ring you're wearing?
Dominica, that's the commitment.
All right, your commitment is to Dominica now.
Yes.
But are you a U.S. citizen?
I am a natural born citizen of Dominica.
But are you also a U.S. citizen?
I will not answer this question. I am a natural born citizen of my country.
All right.
And my allegiance is to my country.
And your allegiance is to your country. All right. So you're not going to tell us if you're a citizen of the United States?
I don't see what bearing it has on anything.
You don't?
Not at this time.
Okay. All right. It will become important at some point.
When we get to that bridge, let's cross it.
Okay, Saphire. All right. In your biography, you spoke a lot about behavioral behavioral relations, wanting to help people, and is that an example of who you are as an individual, and what your studies has led you to in terms of the person that you are today?
I think my personality have led me to my studies, but yeah, I do. I mean, most people will tell you I'll take the shirt off my back to give to somebody. I am a people person. I love people. That's why the party is called the People's Party of Dominica. It's all about, what you can do to help other people.
Mm-hmm. Saphire, we're going to talk a bit now about the person Saphire. And even leading up to this program, even on social media, we saw quite a bit of bashing and almost personal attacks on you. What do you think about that, and why do you think that this is so?
I mean, I guess you'd have to ask those that really do the personal attacks. I'm not into that. My goal is to focus on the issues and moving forward with Dominic and helping build up our country. So I really do not pay attention to the negativity.
There are those who also think that you're just a joke, that what you're doing is a joke, and they laugh and they make fun of you and what you're doing. Why do you think people are behaving in that manner? And are you a joke?
I mean, if somebody feels that way, then they need to look in the mirror and look at themselves. It's not about me. It's not a reflection of me. They don't know me. You're trying to get to know me. We're trying to get to know each other. But to come out and say about somebody you don't know that they're a joke, well, I think the joke must be the other person. It can't be me. Even going as far to some extent as trying to make you appear as probably being mentally unstable. And I've actually had people try to say that to me about you. I don't see anybody who is mentally unstable when I interact with you or when I deal with you. So, it really leads me to wonder, why are people having those types of thoughts where you are concerned? Is it malicious? Is it, where is that stemming from? I mean, again, that they would have to be able to answer. I can't, if that's the person's opinion of me, that's a reflection really of themselves, not me. So,
but you're not crazy. You've never been to any mental institution. You've never had any mental evaluation or anything like that done.
I don't know where it would stem from. I actually think it's ridiculous. But, if that's how someone feels, then they need to examine why they feel that way.
What do you say to these people? What do you say to people who want to think about you in that way?
It's their choice. It's their opinion. It has no reflection of me. I don't identify with those negativity. I mean, my mom will joke sometimes and say I'm like a dashing leaf, so it rolls off.
It just rolls off. It's like Teflon, eh? It just bounces off you.
I might use Saphire, so dashing leaf.
All right, it is 20 minutes moving up to the 9 o'clock hour. This is the In the Spotlight radio show. We're here in studios with Saphire Carrington, and Saphire is the founder of the People's Party of Dominica. Saphire actually founded that party outside of Dominica, and she will tell us when we get to that particular segment of the program, what are her plans? Is she home to stay? What is going to happen from there? We're taking a break. We're coming right back. This is the In the Spotlight radio show. I thank you for tuning in tonight, and I thank our viewers as well for tuning in and locking in to the program.
In the Spotlight on 95 FM radio, every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, and aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of all people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know public servants, youth, the ordinary Dominican.
She wants.
Listen
She wants.
no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight, we'll also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant issues. In the Spotlight.
When you bring it, you get into the video. So you're gonna have to stay out. What is it?
Yes,
All walks of Dominican life, spotlighting triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations.
So it's all this is
Put your life on.
Yeah, I will look at the. It's okay. You don't the
I just didn't put any makeup on tonight, or I just came straight from work almost. So my face is not fresh. And you know, so wait, so you putting me on camera over there?
Yeah.
For how I like to avoid that camera. Let me see that.
because they're bigger.
Oh, that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's not the whole.
What the person said? What the person said, Freddie? What the person said?
Which person?
Oh, I thought you was watching the comment.
Oh no, he was just showing me that
Okay.
on the.
So where does that stream to? On the website?
Facebook.
Oh,
On
okay,
Q95
website,
Facebook. So I can mention it as well.
But they want to over 50 something.
We are more.
Oh gosh.
We are plenty more than that.
It's alright. It's alright.
I'll post check us out on Q on our Facebook.
8:44 is the time in our studios. This is the In the Spotlight radio show. We're live on Q95 FM radio. I'm told we're also live on the Q95 Facebook page, and we're live on my page as well. Kadisha, are we live on the In the Spotlight page as well?
Yeah.
We're also live on the In the Spotlight radio page as well. And we're back with Saphire Carrington, and again we thought about the name earlier on. I really was intrigued about that name, Saphire Carrington, but I got an explanation as to where the Carrington came from, and we're back with Saphire, and we were talking just before the break about the perception of people where Saphire is concerned in terms of her state of mind and that sort of thing, and she continues to smile at that, but she certainly wants to share with us again why I really want to find out from Saphire again. I mean, what is this all about? Because it really took me by surprise. I'm being very frank and honest with you here. That it really took me by surprise that once I announced that you were coming on the program, I never had that kind of, I'll be honest, I've never had that kind of reaction or that kind of feedback to a guest being on the show. And the moment we announced it, I started getting messages in my inbox, on my WhatsApp, people started putting comments and so on. And I'm saying, why? Why this aggression towards you though? Why these attacks?
I mean, you don't attack things that you're not threatened by, so I think to a certain extent they look at it as she's competent, she's effective. I would rather say highly effective. I'm quite capable, I'm a go-getter, I get things done. One of the things you'll learn about me is you'll hear people say I'm a mover and a shaker. So when you become a threat to the status quo, when you become almost like you start intimidating people, unfortunately their natural reaction is to fight back and kick back. And right now I think those that maintain the status quo, they want things to remain the same. They want to keep their comfort while the other 97% is not comfortable. And it's to a point where we have to move away from that as a people. And while they attack, if that's their MO, then that's their MO. It just says to the public that they have no solutions. And people is about solutions. So if that scares them and threatens them, so be it.
I came here tonight, and even with all of that, I'll be honest with you, I got calls today, I got messages today, and even I came here and you looked fine. You were still smiling, and I was like, okay, this lady's a soldier.
I think you call it Teflon, right?
Yes.
My mom says dashing leaf. So
I said this lady has got to be a soldier because you were still smiling and looking beautiful and ready for the program. I swear, I thought we would have gotten here tonight and you would say to me, Fidana, I'm not doing this anymore.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sorry, I'm not doing this anymore.
My reason for doing this is a lot bigger than, all the fires that people can come out there and put. So I'm here for a purpose and I'm going to fulfill the purpose, position or not.
And that's the bottom line. As far as you are. You're concerned. Okay, Saphire, we need to get into the and you're open to the calls as well, right? You're open to us opening up the lines and having people calling in, and we'll do that at some point in the program. We're not scared of getting people to call into the program. Again, as I said, just when you call, please be respectful of the guest, of me, and of this program. You know what this program is all about, and it is not going to change because other people may have their own agenda. Why politics, Saphire?
Why not politics? I mean, politics is all around us. It impacts our everyday life. It impacts everything we do, from opportunities, jobs, school. Everything we do is impacted by politics. So if you want to have, for me, if I would like to make a meaningful impact, then I might as well join where you can really make a difference.
And what made you decide to go that route?
I mean, I've always wanted to be in politics. Like I said, I used to study political science. I started doing the Model UN, all these things since high school. Looking at Mamo growing up was a big deal to me, and probably the biggest influence. Going to somewhere like Convent. I mean, if anybody remembers the Convent song, any Convent students out there, please, that song sticks in my head. We're Island's pride, we're the leaders of tomorrow, and you sing that every day. So you grow up knowing, there's something bigger than you, and you have to go out there and make a difference.
My next question would be, why now?
Why not now? When? Why not now?
Why not 5 years ago? Why not 10 years ago?
Why not 10 years ago? Why not 5? I think what happened, and I'll let me try and backtrack a bit. I've been involved in a lot helping Dominica. And it got to a point when you realize it's time for change. And when you realize it's time for change, you have to start saying, well, I'm ready to be that change. I can't go out there just talking and saying, oh, we need to do different, but I'm not taking that stance. So for me, I am going to be that change. And I hope it will allow people, whether in the diaspora, to come back and say, let's really help build up our country, especially now more than ever.
So when was that decision made to get involved?
After Erica.
After Erica.
And then I really solidified that after Maria.
So after Erica, and what was it about what happened during Erica or after Erica that led you to want to get involved in Dominican politics?
So I'm very big on the global goals, and I'm an avid global citizen member. So one of the things we focus on is how to use sustainable development. So if I'm out there helping every other country or everyone else, why can I come out and give back to my own country? Is it a sacrifice? It's a major sacrifice, but it's one that I think is worth it. It's one that I think is needed, and I want to see more Dominicans come out, even Dominicans locally and in the diaspora, to really help build back Dominica, because it's needed.
So was it a situation where after Erica you realized that something in Dominica needed to change, that Dominica needed help? Were you providing that help? Did you spend some time on the ground and realize I probably need to be here? What was it about that time frame that made you decide that around that time, what would have been 2015, that made you make that decision?
First off, it started off like a conversation in a car going up to Toronto. and we just agreed it's time to do something again, being the change.
You and others would
Yeah,
rather
it was.
do
I mean, if you look the diaspora, we're always discussing Dominic and how to help and so forth. So it's just, well, how are we really gonna help? We can't just keep dictating from overseas and saying do this, do that. We're not in the position. So for me, it's let's put myself in that position and see how much of a change we really can make.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Your entry into politics is quite different from the norm. You're talking about a female. We have quite a few females now in politics in Dominica. We have quite a few females in government, as a matter of fact. But we've never seen somebody who is female, who is founding a party that the intention is to contest general elections in Dominica, residing in the United States or outside of Dominica. We've not seen that before, and it is unprecedented. It is different. I mean, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking it's time to be that change and do it. If you'll see me, I wear Nikes only because I like the symbol, just do it. So again, it's not just talking, it's being the change.
And so, tell me about the birth of Peapod.
Peapod, like I said, came out of a group of us just talking about, what can we really do outside, just keep sending aid, and it's almost like we've gotten to our country to a point where we depend on outside organizations. Well, what can we really do to make a difference so that we remove ourselves from that dependency phase? And it was, well, let's jump in the ring and let's really offer our services to our country, because if we know what to do, we need people with the political will to do it. We've been watching this country regress for the last, I would say, 24, 25 years. And it's sad to watch, especially when you're on the outside and when you have the skill sets and you can make a difference. To me, it would be wicked not to. So let's start Peapod.
So you founded that political party.
Yes.
Along with, I don't know if you want to give us names.
I actually don't have permission to give everyone's name, so
Okay.
I can't do that.
But
in all fairness to other people, and
okay,
respect to them.
but they have to understand though, if they're going to be part of the party and they're going to contest elections. I know you will probably at some point want to launch your candidates and unveil your candidates, that kind of thing, and that is fine. But I think people should be bold and brave enough that if they want to participate in political life, political discord in Dominica, I think they should be brave enough to come forward and say, this is me, like you are doing, because you're doing that tonight.
We all have different roles we have to play, and some people are better off behind the scenes, some people are okay with being up front, some people are dashing leaves. So you let the ones with the dashing leaf go up front.
Okay, give us a sense of at least how many people are involved in the process right now.
Oh my God, a lot.
It's a lot.
And this is where you learn the spirit of Dominicans, pulling together. There's a lot of Dominicans calling, well, how can I help? What project are you working on? Give me a project, do this. Okay, I'll take care of it. And to me, that's that Dominican spirit I want to see come alive, and not people being fearful or people saying, well, I don't want to be victimized. No, we want people to come.
Please do not call my phone in any way. My phone is actually being used for the live, so please avoid calling the phone. Somebody was just actually calling on Facebook Messenger. We will open up the lines at some point in time, as I said, to facilitate your calls. So please just have a little patience and we will do that. But when you call my phone, you're actually interrupting the Facebook Live, and we have quite a few viewers there that we certainly wouldn't want to interrupt their viewing of the program. What I was going to follow up with Saphire was, in the case of the people who are part of this Peapod, are they mostly diaspora based? Do you have some who are based here in Dominica?
I would say it's a 50-50. We have a few in Dominica, and we have some in the diaspora.
Mm-hmm. Are those in the diaspora willing to make the move that you've made to come to Dominica and fight the fight?
We already have 2 that moved to Dominica, and
Okay.
we have 1 moving in November, and I've moved myself, so...
Let's talk about that. So you've moved to Dominica.
Yes!
So you're now a Dominican resident.
Resident of Dominica, 100%.
As of
The ending of June.
the ending of June, you arrived in Dominica.
Yes.
And you are living in Dominica now.
Currently, yes.
You are not going back to the United States to live anytime soon.
Not as a permanent resident.
Not
so
as a permanent
I will still have my home, obviously.
Mhm.
There, and I have my daughter, so I have to go back and forth.
But you're now in Dominica.
I'm home. This is home.
Are you willing to share the other person who is in Dominica already?
We have Dr. Valrose who've moved back.
Okay.
And
Who is
we-
Dr. Valrose?
Dr. Joseph Valrose, he's one of the candidates, and we'll announce more about that and where
Okay.
he'll be representing and so forth in another launch event.
Okay.
We have Hendrik Spear who've moved back, and myself, and we have one other that will be moving in November.
Okay. So 3 already moved.
Yes.
1 will be moving in November.
And we'll be obviously we'll be able to join those that are in Dominica, and it will be good.
So if the bell were to be rung, let's say in December of this year, where will people be in terms of candidates and contesting the elections by that time?
By that time,
You have 6 months.
we'll have.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying I know anything about when the election is going to be called.
Well, that in of itself is another issue, right? Because if you want to talk about leveling the playing field and oppositions or other people don't know when election is called, that in of itself is something that needs to change. However, we'll be ready.
You think you will be ready?
Obviously, with more time, the better. But we're getting our feet wet.
You're getting your feet wet. And as you said, there's some in Dominica and there's some in the diaspora. Do you think you'll be able to field candidates for the 21 constituencies?
I don't intend to fill 21. I think for us with Peapod, it's about being able to unite with everyone and finding the best candidates. So I don't care if you're Labour, I don't care if you're UWP, I don't care if you're DFP. As long as we feel there's the best candidate in an area, we're not going to contest those areas.
So if there is somebody you're saying who is a stalwart, Boyo, UWP or Labourite, if you want to put it that way, and you feel like going after that person and you feel they're a good candidate for your party, you go after them?
Well, not for my party, they can remain in their party. If we're there for the right intentions, does it really matter?
It does.
To whom? The people of Dominica will benefit from the right people in the right positions.
So, but it would mean that that person has the mentality and the thinking of the parties in question we mentioned.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, if people are going up for the right reasons, as you're being a PAL rep and you're there to ensure your constituents have a place they can live, work, and learn, so to speak, then it doesn't matter to me what party you're affiliated with. That's your choice. As long as you're there to serve the people, that's my concern.
Tell me a bit more about the party, its slogan, its color. Tell me more.
Color is orange.
The color is orange.
Orange. I've been adorned with my orange. Orange is our color. We have a symbol which is a garden fork. Tagline is progress is everyone's business.
Progress
Is everyone's business.
is everyone's business.
So it's not just about, you're the power rep, so it's your business. No, it's everyone's responsibility as citizens to know, okay, how can we become productive citizens and how can we contribute to our country?
All right, so progress is everyone's business. And I guess that's where you're saying that if somebody from the UWP or somebody from the Labour Party or the Freedom Party or even Papi's Party, even if they have the thinking of those parties, you're saying that you would still welcome them to be part of your...
Absolutely. It's all about our nation building, and it's all about taking a nationalistic approach. I mean, if we're focused on our country and building up our country, that's the focus. If I have a thing where I say, if we're working on a mission, then we're going to work backwards, and it's not about what political party. And we need to get to a point where we shift away from the two-party that has not been working for us as a country. We need to get people in and elect people in positions that are not just qualified education-wise, but actually care about the people and have a plan to build up communities. If we don't have that, we're going to continue on the same path. And that to me is scary.
In terms of the symbol, you said it's a fork,
A garden
fork. Why that particular symbol?
Well, the Constitution outlines the symbols that you choose, and there was only 3 left at the time based on the Constitution. So it was a bottle, a knife, and the garden fork. So to me, the best option was the garden fork, and not only that, to me, it speaks to the agriculture we've had and being able to, one of the things we're focusing on is food security. So that was important to us.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned the possibility of probably getting candidates who belong to other parties. Do you currently have any links with any of the existing political parties?
I don't say they're links, but we work with everyone. We work with everybody. We work with the government, we'll work with freedom, we'll work with anybody. As long as your interest is this country and you want to put this country first, we're working with you.
Who should be, which of the parties should be concerned with your entry into the political ring? Your entry, the entry of Peapod into the political ring?
If you are a smart opponent, they always say you don't underestimate, right? Anyone. I wouldn't underestimate anyone. So I think everyone needs to be concerned. I mean, as you can see, we get a lot of bashing and so forth because people are threatened. But it's okay. We're here for a mission. We're here to make sure we move Dominica forward.
And do you think you have the ability to make any inroads into any of the constituencies, any of the parties?
Well, we have the abilities, we have the capabilities. I think Dominicans are very open. Since I've been here, people have been very, very welcoming. They embrace it, they're listening to it. They're listening to what we're about, and I love it.
What is the message you bring to people when you visit them? I know you've just been here for about a week or just approaching 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
What you said, people have been very welcoming.
Mm-hmm.
Have you introduced yourself as the leader or the founder of Peapod, as you prefer to state it? Are you saying to them that you have a party and you're getting ready to contest the next elections, whatever it's called? What is the conversation like?
I mean, usually most people have been noticing me, so it's kind of nice to know that people actually recognize it and people are smiling and saying, oh, that's you, and very open and welcoming. So I love it, The conversations pretty much goes where they talk and I listen a lot. I want to hear what people are saying. It's one thing to be on the phone listening or doing, video calls. It's a whole other ball game to be having a conversation face to face and really understanding their story and what they want to see. And then for me, it's thinking, well, how am I going to solve that issue and what am I going to put in place that every family benefits?
We're going to take a break. This is the In the Spotlight radio show with Saphire Carrington. We're coming right back. Keep it locked. Are you good, Saphire? You need a...
Spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, and aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music,
okay for that?
culture,
We're okay.
farmers, public servants, youth, the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No
We've been great so far.
no restrictions, no holds barred.
I've been getting message on message.
Don't miss.
This is when you have to go on.
Yeah, for now.
Mhm.
You understand what she means by inclusiveness.
Really, you want to get into that?
She's correct. It's the right mindset to have moving forward.
What's that?
It's not the right mindset to have moving forward. On board.
Touching the human and personal side of people in politics, religion, sports,
You're great for that.
music,
You're awesome.
the media, and more. Getting to know
I have to get the information out of her, but I'm not going to forget the whole thing.
You're doing great.
listen to their stories. No limitations,
Excellent, Leo.
no restrictions, no holds barred. In the spotlight will also
What's going
spotlight
on?
topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't
No, they can. But you can
Let's say she's here.
you can take a moment and not talk to me.
here in the spotlight.
One-on-one with interesting personalities, educational and
You
informative
do, man.
topics and issues.
That's your water ready when you're ready.
You must listen to The Spotlight, Monday nights from 8 p.m. on Q95.
Charlie said, tell me hello. It's on. Stay here.
The mic is closed. They put
It's the thing.
speaker right here. Ah, I don't know. We're back. It's 10 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. I want to talk to Saphire a bit about her policies. What are your policies? What do you stand by? What do you believe in? What are you guided by as you form this party and get ready to contest elections here in Dominica?
Well, we have a set of, our platform goes, we have, principles or goals or strategies, and those are designed to basically address the political issues that we're facing with and social issues that we're faced with. Within each platform, we have what we call planks, and those are the declarations of self to speak on the issues, I'm sorry. Is that better?
Go ahead, yes, my dear, you're good.
Okay, so for example, you'll see, if anyone wants to go to my Facebook page, Carrington Cares, you'll see a lot of the issues. I will state the issues and where we stand on the issues.
Go on, Saphire.
This is where we stand on the issues, thank you. we have some technical issues, so we're working on that.
Yes, are you going to share any of those some of those policies with us?
Well, there's a lot, and I want people to visit our social media pages. So there's a lot of issues that are listed, and they basically can learn a lot about how we view things, and we're very vocal. So,
but let's talk about some of the issues, some of the concerns. What are some of your issues, some of your concerns?
Well, I don't know if it's my issues, but the country's issues is what we're focused on. And, currently, especially post-Maria, we had to do some revamping of, how we're going to deal with some things in terms of housing is a major issue, jobs. We all know unemployment rate is very high in Dominica. For our youth 18 to 35, we're looking at a 75% unemployment rate. So that's big for us. If you're over 35, your unemployment rate is in 33%. That's high. That's a whole lot of our population that's not working and able to work and looking for employment. So that's a big issue to us. Healthcare is a big issue. We've been working with companies to be able to bring in proper health facilities, change around the healthcare system a bit, and really start developing the country.
What are you bringing to the table, Saphire, in the context of contesting elections, contesting as the leader or the founder of the party? And I would also like to find out from you, if you're running, what constituency would you be running in?
Well, in terms of the constituency, I will say we will do that as a press conference where we will announce, later. We will announce.
So you're not letting anything out of the bag tonight?
Absolutely not.
That would be interesting to know which one of the 21 constituencies Saphire Carrington will be contesting.
Any one of them, I think I'll be a great candidate either way.
You think so? What makes you a great candidate?
I'm quite capable. I'm a go-getter, like I said. I tend to have great relationships. I built and continue to build great partnerships with organizations in certain countries just to ensure that we're able to empower Dominicans, empower the youth, and be able to really bring jobs to this country, position Dominicans to succeed. And that's a big deal for me.
What kind of networking have you done? What is your relationship with the foreign community?
We've worked with several organizations, not-for-profits, to bring assistance to Dominica. We've worked with USAID. We work very heavily with USAID. We work heavily with Americas, Food for the Poor. There's quite a few organizations that we've been able to bring to our country to help people.
But as you're forming a party, in terms of foreign nations, foreign collaboration, in terms of connections with foreign leaders, foreign countries, foreign policies, what's your how much work have you done in that regard?
Well, some of you might see me on Facebook and you'll say I practically live at the UN, right? So developing those relationships is key. And we've done that with quite a few countries, and obviously I'm not going to say that at this time, in respect to our government as well, and when you want to think in terms of diplomacy. But we've managed to really build some good relationships and healthy relationships for Dominica moving forward.
You mentioned the press conference. At some point you will be announcing. When can we expect to hear formal launchings of candidates and other formal information as it relates to PPOD?
Towards the end of the month, we plan on doing a press conference. Towards the end of July.
Towards the end of July?
Correct.
You will be having a press conference?
Yes.
All right. It is 16 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock, and we are going to open up the lines and allow you to call in and to be a part of the program. The numbers are 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, 449-3095-9697. The overseas line is 305-432-9624. That's 305-432-9624. You need to put on your headphones for me, Miss Carrington, if you would like to hear the callers when they call. And as I said before, I will allow you to ask your questions. I have no issues with that at all. I will allow you to ask your questions, and let's just do it in a respectful manner. We take our first call this evening. Good evening. Hello? Hello, good evening. Yes, good evening. Okay, thank you for that. She wants to know your thoughts about the leader of the opposition, Honorable Lennox Linton, Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt, and Ken Vital of the Dominica Freedom Party. Those three leaders.
I think they're awesome individuals that they're putting themselves in the political arena, which is not exactly easy. Lennox Linton, to me, is a well-spoken individual, and you have Skerritt, who seems to care about the people a lot. You have Kent, which I think is a people person, and I like working with Kent. I think he genuinely cares about the people.
So these are your thoughts on these leaders?
Yes, and I give Papi actually all the kudos just for his continued consistency and staying in the game.
And you actually said, you said everything nice about all three of them. All right, let us go to the telephone. Hello, good night. Hello. Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Thank you.
Are you already for political party?
What we've done is we've put in all our requirements into the Electoral Commission. They gave us an option to choose a symbol. We've done that. As far as I know, we are. I am a natural-born citizen of Dominica. I am a natural-born citizen of Dominica. Okay. I believe we need agriculture. Well, I think we all have to do it. It's not just about me or any one person. I think we all have to pull together and help lift our country out of the recession and depression it's been through for over the last, couple decades.
And I think he also asked about agriculture.
I'm sorry, what did you say about agriculture?
Are you having difficulty hearing the callers?
There are times it goes blank.
Okay. Let us just make sure that you can hear properly.
Would you repeat your question about
agriculture?
Okay,
the caller is gone. The caller is gone. But can you hear? Are you able to hear?
I'm hearing you now, yes.
You can hear me, but can you hear the callers?
In and out. Yes, it's fine.
Okay, let's try this one. Let's see. Hello, good night. Yes, go ahead, please. Good night to you, sir.
I think what matters is that I'm a natural-born citizen of Dominica.
Hello, good night.
Hi, good night.
Good night. Go ahead.
I want to know why she chose orange, because orange is the color for Paris party. Also,
go ahead, caller.
Also, she spoke about Hendrix Hill, freedom party had a press conference not too long ago. They said that Hendrik Spear is running for that party. And I also noticed that she said she loves working with Kent, the leader of Freedom. So if people and Freedom working together, we really want to know.
All right. So question number one: why did you choose the orange color? And that color claims that color currently belongs to Para's party.
As far as I know, the color is not taken. At least from the Electoral Commission, those are the colors we submitted. So.
The next question had to do with Hendrik Spear, that the Freedom Party had a press conference and he was announced as a candidate.
Hendrik Spear was listed as someone that works with the Freedom Party.
Is that the case?
That's how it was listed, yeah. It was stated that they work with.
Okay.
But again, when you look at people, like I said, we work with everyone. And that's kind of the goal, is to get the best candidates elected.
And the caller also wanted to know what is the relationship between Peapod and the Dominica Freedom Party.
I mean, we're all working towards the same goal in terms of moving Dominica forward. So, as far as I'm concerned, we all work well together.
Good evening for Saphire. Go ahead, caller.
Miss Saphire said that she used to live in Bogotá. So would you really like to represent those laws? I heard you have groups from Zika. So whether you would have think for Zika or Roosevelt. Thank you very much.
I mean, at this time, we're not going to announce any of the constituencies that we are running on because we're going to do a press conference that addresses that. In terms of, I always say in terms of our constitution, it does not prevent anyone from running in any particular constituency.
Hello, good evening.
One person said Hendrik Spear was a member for the Freedom Party. Yes, I know that. And secondly, ma'am, do you know you have to renounce your U.S. citizen before you can run for election? And you should not keep that away from the people of Dominica. If you're coming true, come clean. Thank you.
I guess I'll say it that way. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. I will do what I need to do to abide by the laws of this country.
Hello, good evening. Hello.
The concept that people with no money shouldn't really be coming in that race. So I'm really curious to know if Miss, I don't know if it's a rude question, but to know if she have money, because to me that's very important that you personally have enough money to take care of your own self instead of coming and full your pocket like whoever we think are doing that. Thank you.
I mean, in terms of financing a party, like every political party, you get donors, and hopefully that will come from the people of Dominica as well.
So you are expecting support from donors,
yes,
in terms of your
yes,
funding of
I
your
mean,
party.
this is our government, right? This is our country, and if we can't fund our country and put our interests forward, personally, I would prefer Dominicans invest in themselves rather than, outside forces come in and then,
Good evening. Hello, blessings. I am well.
Thank you.
All right, I'm listening to you, and I've listened to you by the radio with Matt on 295 and so, and it was a bit more articulate and more clear. No disrespect, I find you sound quite vague and reserved. For instance, I asked you a question about dual citizenship, and you're saying you're citizens of Dominica, born citizen of Dominica. I don't want to hold you to that. I just find that you're non-specific and quite reserved in certain areas. But two questions I think I have. What would have necessitated your interest in politics in Dominica, knowing that you're based in the US? Because I know there are a lot of machinations and there are political strategies. There's a big difference between the Freedom Party or the Labour Party. Why would you just describe Lennox as the area ticket? That was quite vague. Having to do with the quality of the leader. You may not want to go and be that the bad, let's say, or what you're saying about the Prime Minister. But you say he seems to care about the people. I like that because that says it all. But with Lennox, he's just been articulate. What would have necessitated your involvement? What's in it for you? What is the main objective in you really showing interest in this piece of rock that seems to be just heading down a regression? I'll just listen. I don't want to make it up for you. Maybe all blessings and I wish you all the best.
But Blessings doesn't want to be too tough on someone. Yes, Saphire. Did you get him?
I heard some of it. In terms of why I want to get involved, I mean, this is my country. This is where I grew up. This is home to me. And if I'm seeing, I mean, again, if any one of us out there seeing that the country needs help, I think we should come forward and help our country. I mean, we have our national anthem that keeps saying, coming forward, sons and daughters. I think it's time sons and daughters come forward.
Good evening. To you as well.
But I know you've been living abroad for a little while. Dominica, you have seen how this local Caribbean administration has really brought Dominica to the knees where poverty really is on a high in Dominica. Don't you think it would be better if you, because the resource that you have, fully with the most vibrant opposition party in Dominica right now, to get rid of Mr. Skelly and his government? Next question. If, God forbid, and people win the election, what would be your first approach towards combating crime? And we have seen from this with the Caribbean administration so forward, we have seen an increase in homicide, in shoplifting, etc. What would be people's first move to put an end to that? Thank you, I'm listening.
Did you get the questions?
Into crime.
Okay, one, I think he wanted to know, he wanted to ask about some sort of opposition collaboration, that probably you should put your efforts towards collaborating with the opposition. And if you were to win, he said, God forbid, I should add that, what would be your first approach to combating crime?
I mean, we're open to working with everyone. Again, the inclusiveness and the need to unite as a country and as a people. So for us, again, it's all who are the best candidates and who's there for the best interests of the country.
Before I move on to his question, what if the leader of the opposition were to come to you tomorrow and say, Ms. Carrington, I listened to you last night. Mm-hmm. I heard of some of your plans. I heard of some of your interests, some of your policies, and I think you would be better suited working with the United Workers Party, you and your team, whoever the rest of your team is. What would be your response to the Honorable Lennox Linton?
I mean, one of the things, again, I'll maintain is I'm happy to work, and we're happy to work with everyone and collaborate and work together. Every Dominican needs a voice, and obviously the two that's in power, or the normal, traditional political parties, they do not represent the voice of every Dominican. And I think Peapod is at a position where we are becoming the voice, or actually amplifying the voice of people. So in that sense, we can work together, of course.
What would be your first approach to combating crime if you were to win the elections?
Well, I'm not a crime expert. We do have a crime expert as part of our team, so maybe he could answer that question more in depth. I am not going to try to address everything.
Okay, but the
I
crime...
don't believe in the one-man policy of running a country.
Okay. All right. Let us take this call. Good night. Hello. Good evening.
Excuse me, I just want to ask your guest if this political party here has an executive. Thank you.
Thank you. Does your party have an executive?
We have a team, yes.
An executive?
Yes.
With positions?
Yes.
President?
Definitely.
Etc., etc.
Deputy, yes.
You have that?
Yes.
Oh, and we'll get to know all of that?
You'll learn all of that when we do the press conference.
All right. Hello, good night. Overseas line. Good, thank you.
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, caller.
Right. Do you think you have enough money right now to run a campaign? Where's the money going to come from? Because, you need money to run a campaign.
You do need money. You do need money to run a campaign, and the money is going to come like where it comes from every other political party, and maybe you could even donate as a Dominican citizen ready for progress of your country.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you.
That's it for you, caller. Good evening. Good evening. Miss Carrington, Saphire.
Good evening.
Well, 25 questions, but that's pretty understand. One, Ms. Carrington, are you aware of the electoral laws in Dominica? Have you read them?
I have submitted, we have submitted, I should say, the 3 acts for the electoral reform. So yes, I am very much aware of the laws inside out.
Caller, you're breaking up. Hello? Okay, feel free to call us back. Let's take this one. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
We can let make a contribution. I just want to ask the question, how many seats that people will be contesting? And somebody can talk about Hendrik Spear is the candidate for the Freedom Party in the Maho constituency. That is not the case. The Freedom Party had a press conference last week, and they say Hendrik Spear is one of the persons that is working with the party. He is not a candidate. He is not declaring as the candidate to be. People must listen. But I would just like to ask the people how many seats that they have intention of contesting. I'm not going to ask you to mention the names of the candidates, but how many seats.
All right, before you leave the caller, I am referencing an article, a story on DA Vibes, and it reads, among the candidates selected thus far, according to Revere, and they're referencing there the DFP's General Secretary Ashton Revere, Hendrik Spear, Maho, Cedric Suku, Roseau North Constituency, Kent Vital, Roseau Central Constituency, and Jeff Belloc, Saphire Constituency. Okay. All right. Well, I couldn't. All right, and the question to Ms. Carrington is, how many seats will her party be contesting? All right, thank you, caller. All right.
We intend to do 15 seats.
You intend to contest 15 seats. Are you going to tell us the constituencies that
Not
you
yet.
intend on
At the
contesting?
press conference.
At the press conference. Hello, good night.
Yes, hi, good evening.
Hello.
I have a question for Mr. Saphire. First, I want to compliment you for taking such a brave and bold step in coming forward and forming a political party. I give my hats off to that. However, considering the fact that it's been less than a year since Dominica has been devastated by a mega Category 5 Hurricane Maria, the island is at its worst never been in terms of the recovery process. Why would you come at this point of the island's recovery, forming a new political party, rather than taking a different approach, which would be coming with development and the alternative in moving the country forward, rather than taking a political stand?
Interesting question.
Thanks for that question. First of all, Peapod was started before Hurricane Maria. Again, it was started officially registered in 2015 as a political party. So that's way before Maria. In terms of the recovery, we are going through, what I call a climate crisis, and we do have a strong plan to be able to help mitigate risk and reduce vulnerabilities, and we do have the people who are competent enough to execute those plans. So for us, it is the right time to come in.
A couple follow-up on this for you. In terms of the climate resiliency approach that we're now taking, what is your view on that? And secondly, have you made any contribution? Have you done anything for Dominica in terms of assisting us post-Hurricane Maria?
As a party, we've all put together, and we've gotten a lot of organizations to be able to come to Dominica. Like I said, we've worked with USAID, we've worked with Americas, we've worked with Samaritan Purse, we've worked with quite a few to be able to say, you know what, we need additional help in our country, and be able to come out, to get them to come out to be able to assist the people. So we've been very active, we're still active. We just did a conference call, for example, with USAID requesting additional monies for education, and to be able to go into education, which I think some of it we recently saw as well.
And in terms of the climate resilient agenda, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's an ambitious goal, and I believe go big or go home, right? At this point, I do agree that we need to position Dominica where we can say, let's reduce the risk again, mitigate risk, reduce vulnerabilities. We have to position Dominica to become more sustainable.
Let us take this call. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello.
Congratulations, Carrington, for being a woman and taking this bold step. But my question to her, if she becomes the leader of the country, what would be the first thing on her agenda?
Well, we do have a 100-day plan that we will be unveiling. One of the big things we will be focused on is changing a lot of policies that will be able to empower the people more.
You're not sharing much with us at all. Is that intentional that you're not sharing much with us?
I hope I'm sharing.
I don't think that the press conference will be enough to share everything that you need to share. So I think you probably need to share a little bit more with us, Saphire. Let's take this call. Hello, good night. Yes, my dear. No, if you notice, I am allowing people. I said that I would allow people to ask their questions. She's open to people asking their questions. I have no issues with that. I mean, people can ask their questions. All I said is, just be respectful. That's all. So you can ask your questions. You need me to interject. Well, the caller got cut off. The caller was breaking up, so I'm not sure what happened there.
Appreciate the view of every citizen of a country survivor. That is an erosion and an ignorant of the mind. A little bit of arrogance that to say it's only people that share the views of every Dominican, not the existing opposition or the ruling government. And that's a little arrogant. But please, I think, if you're ill-prepared, I think you should say so. But for how I know you, as I said, with all the fire and cue from overseas, from the cold to the tropics, and you warm Saphire, you hear that fire, Saphire, light up and start articulating your plans and your policies. I don't know, I feel you're quite reserved.
I mean, I agree. We do have to to get rid of, the monster we've created, and even as a society, we have a lot of changes to make as a society. I don't think that we are the only party that can do it again. That's why we say we want to work with the best candidates, regardless of what party you're from.
Hello, good night. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
You give your intro with your first name and your change of name. And interestingly, I was listening to Q95 with a friend of mine who happens to be FBI agent, just happens to be a friend. And as you said that, he said, but the FBI never asked people to change their name, only if they witness protection. So that of itself sounds so funny. And Blessing talked about something about, how you call it, bankruptcy. And I think if any person who aspires to be leader of our country and have gone to bankruptcy, we should know that. So I don't see nothing wrong in that question. So were you ever filed for bankruptcy in the U.S. or anywhere else in the world? Thank you so much.
In terms of bankruptcy, I will say that I have filed bankruptcy previously as a court order as part of my divorce settlement back in 2009.
All right. So that was the...
He asked another question.
He was saying that when you spoke about the change of your name earlier on.
Well, first of all, it wasn't the FBI, it was the IRS and Social Security Administration that required that I change my name along with my children's.
Good night. Hello? Good night.
Good evening.
Decide to come up as a political party, but I am telling you that I hope you are straight and all people. Let me ask you, do you have candidates already?
We have candidates, and we are looking for more candidates. Obviously, the more people can contribute, the better.
Among those candidates you have there, do you have any former military, American military, in that candidate?
As far as I know, we do not at this time. Not from the American military.
Remember, some time back, your party was representing a meeting at the parish hall for you. Can you remember?
We had a PRO of Dr. Valros Joseph show up, and we had a supporter who was also a member of Concerned Citizens show up to speak on behalf of the people and the People's Party.
Was representing was he military, American military serviceman?
I don't know his resume, I'm sorry, I don't ask supporters for their resumes.
But what is the relevance of that though, caller? I didn't quite get the relevance of the military connection. I guess maybe somebody will tell me afterwards. Hello, good night. Hello.
Hello. Could you ask Saphire that on her return to Dominica, if she has already spoken or met with Dr. Benjamin? I don't think she's normal at all.
That is your point of view, caller. Hello, good night. Hello? Then we'll try this one. Good night. Hello? Hello, good night.
So, the gentleman over the back of his side, and he gave it that he filed in 2009. Very important because she filed in 2018. She filed, I have all the documents in my possession. She filed and was given to her in 2009, but she filed in 2018 and it was dismissed. And she has to tell us to the court. Thank you.
All right, do you have anything to comment on that, Saphire?
Absolutely not.
All right, so we continue with our calls. So you see, we are taking your calls and we are, responding to your calls as well. This is the In the Spotlight radio show, rather interesting program tonight with Saphire Carrington, the founding member of Peapod. Good night. Good night to you.
Carrington, how does she determine who is the best candidate for any constituent?
I mean, we have a set vetting process that we go through, and then we kind of just sit down and figure, okay, who has the most passion, who has the better plan, who can execute the best plan, and who's ready to help move people and empower people and move our country forward.
Do you have persons coming forward to you and saying, I would like to be part of your party, I would like to contest a particular constituency? Do you have that kind of thing happening?
Well, that's what's been happening, which is great. I mean, even just being on social media, that's how we got everybody. So I honestly met a lot of them for the first time coming into Dominica right now.
If someone is listening tonight and they listen to you and they think that they want to be a part of your party, the party that you founded, what do you say to that person tonight?
I say, welcome, it's the People's Party, let's get it going.
All right. Hello, good night. Hello.
Hello. Hello. I'm good, thanks.
You on your own and your brain is strong and continue what you're doing, no matter what people say.
Thank you.
All right, your mic, you can talk now.
Thank you, I'm sorry. Thanks.
I try to close the mic sometimes during the questions so at least the Facebook viewers can get to hear the questions. Hello, good night. Hello? Hello? Okay, we'll take this one. Hello, good night.
I don't know about how many times I've been declared bankrupt. I have filed for bankruptcy in 2009 as a result of my divorce, which was a court order. I filed for bankruptcy in 2009 as a result of my divorce. Well, it's the IRS, I'm sorry. Well, it's the IRS and the Social Security Department working together. So when you have a serious identity theft case, you have to end up changing your Social Security number, etc. The IRS got involved because whomever it is kept filing tax returns on my name.
Hello, good evening. Oh, please try us back. It's already 9 minutes to the hour of 10 o'clock. Hello, good night. Good night.
Right. Within the past 8 years, how many times has she visited Dominica? How popular is she in Vegas?
I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm not running a popularity contest, so I don't know how to measure my popularity in Vegas. It is where my mom and my grandmother is from, and I'm proud to say I am from Vegas. I grew up in Goodwill and Canefield. I am very proud to say I grew up in Goodwill and Canefield. My family is from Point Michelle and in the heart of Roseau. I am very proud to say I'm from Point Michelle and Goodwill and Rosa.
And the caller wanted to know how many times you visited in the last 8 years.
I don't know. They could check my passport.
Hello, good evening. Caller, you are listening to your computer. Please listen to us. Yes, go ahead. Yes, you're live. Hello. Yes, go ahead, caller. Listen to me. Don't listen to your computer. Yes, go ahead, caller.
Into the political arena. But I think he's making some conflicting statements in that, because for me, if she's coming with a party, a new party, which would mean that the other parties, she don't see them as relevant, and then there is some change. So why, on the other hand, would she want to work with any one of them anyway, if she's coming with a new party?
Well, the idea of a new party is because what we've been doing all along these years have apparently not been working. As you can see, we are regressing as a country. Our poverty rate is increasing. Our unemployment rate is increasing. Our crime is increasing. So obviously the way things are set up right now is not working. And I think it will work in the best interest of Dominicans if they have multiple people representing them, forcing certain political parties to start working for the people.
Good evening. Hello, good evening to you.
Saphire.
Good evening.
Welcome to the Dominican political arena where there is fire and hot. And as you said earlier on that you are like a dashing leaf. So I hope you're going to prove yourself a dashing leaf. You know that you will not get wet because it is not easy. I notice many people are throwing some real critical, harsh questions, even comments, making some harsh comments. Someone just for a little while and talking about having visited a doctor, whatever. But I think that is low-minded, very low-minded. You have come to make a contribution. I'm not saying I'm supporting you. As president, I am a supporter of the Dominican Labour Party. But you are a Dominican, you come to make a contribution, and you cannot change this country. You can make it better. We can do things to make it better. There's a saying that the more things change, the more you need the same. So I really don't think that you come to change this country. You may come to improve it. Like Jesus said, he did not come to do away with the law or to fulfill it. So I think we have to give people a chance, and I am certainly sure that the good honorable president has absolutely no problem with you making your contribution. So when people try to denigrate and to bring down people's moral and character, I mean, you have said already that you are a dashing leaf. So I want you to stand to the test, and be that dashing leaf, and do not be intimidated by the comments and negatives that people have to make about you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, take this one. Hello, good evening. Yes, blessings. You know, blessings, wait, pause a moment. You know, I've heard people say that you have a dedicated line on Q95. I don't see any line there saying blessings, but you always seem to be lucky to get through. I see. So you're constantly trying. I see. Play through it.
So for nothing. Like they're in a cartel, they're in a call, trying to groom and interrogate Saphire. And a leader of the country, they hear not on programs, not in press conferences, no, yes, dare to ask the critical and current question. And does that apply? If it's in a different jurisdiction, she filed handcuff me. I am not a legal luminary, but can a lawyer maybe later on to tell us if you find bankruptcy in America, does it apply to filing bankruptcy in Dominica and not being able to be a member of Parliament. And are you glad tonight Saphire come back? When they know Clinton and then the wife going to call you into the program, or you think, okay, she's a woman, she's vulnerable. I said what I said a while ago, but respectfully, or you come into the bankruptcy and also of higher rest. Don't ask Carrington questions there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Blessings. Hello, good night.
Good night, Brian. How are you?
I am well, thank you.
Good night.
Ms. Carrington,
Good evening.
I heard Darrell kid asking a question, which is very pertinent. And Ms. Carrington responded that she filed for bankruptcy in 2009 and it had something to do with her divorce. But I have to dispute that because I actually have the document of a filing that was recently made in Connecticut Bankruptcy Court. And it was recently dismissed in May. Now, if I remember right, we were 2018, not 2009. And it had to do with a series of creditors filing suits for money in somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million US. Now, the dismissal of Ms. Carrington's bankruptcy case, which is Chapter 7, and we have to know the difference in the bankruptcy laws. There are two most popular bankruptcy filings. There's Chapter 11 and there's Chapter 7. Chapter 11 allows you to reconstruct your debts and take, the equipment practically take cents on the dollar, whereas Chapter 7, which Ms. Carrington filed, is one of those bankruptcy laws where you file and you say, listen, swallow everything I owe you. So Chapter 7 was recently dismissed in May, which I have actually all the documents of the entire court case. So she cannot dispute it.
Why you say that filed in 2009? But the fact of the matter is that the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Connecticut has simply dismissed the Chapter 7 case because failed to file all the supporting documentation that would allow them to say, okay, the creditors or the money that she owes them. That's what I would like to tell you.
All right, thank you, caller.
Again, I filed a bankruptcy in 2009. Part of my divorce settlement was a court order to file bankruptcy, and I did that in 2009.
And you're standing by that. All right, we're going to take our final call for tonight. All the phone lines are lighting up, but this will be our final call. Hello, good evening. Yes, good night.
Or how long has she been living in the United States of America? That is my first question. Hello?
Go ahead, caller. Ask your questions. Yes, we got that, and we'll take the second one time.
I think every natural born citizen can play an active role in our politics. Our Constitution recognizes dual citizenship, so it does not stop anyone from participating in politics. And in terms of how long have I been to the US, I moved to the US when I was 14, 15, somewhere around there. And I'm 43 years old, so calculate.
Saphire, the fire has been coming at you tonight on the program. We could put it that way. And there's still quite a few calls coming in. It is part of the game. Well, it's not a game. I wouldn't call politics a game. Mm-hmm. But it is expected. Once you put yourself in the public sphere and you decide you're going to contest elections, then you become what we refer to as a public figure. And so, it's almost like you are exposing yourself to these kinds of questions and that kind of personal intrusion into your party, into even your personal life. And so we've seen quite a bit of that coming through on the program tonight. Has that shaken you in any way?
Not really. It makes me think more in terms of, yes, I want to keep being open to the people. I want to get to the point where I can just say, you know, X, Y, and Z. There's certain things obviously I can't discuss for certain reasons. And I'm good with it.
You're good
I welcome
with
it. I welcome it. Again, I'm very open. Anybody will tell you they ask me questions, they'll get an answer. They may not get the response they're looking for, but they'll get an answer. So
it is 2 minutes past the 10 o'clock hour. We're going to take a break and we are coming right back. This is the In the Spotlight radio show.
In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of all people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight.
Saphire Carrington, the founder of the People's Party of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Saphire has indicated that that party is registered. There's a few of the candidates already on island, including herself, who will be residing in Dominica, of course probably going across to the US, not for permanent residency, but probably, you know, to take care of whatever business or to check on her young ladies, her daughters that are also still in the United States. And she said by July month and possibly there will be a press conference where a lot more information will be shared as it relates to the People's Party of Dominica, its candidates, its plans, and more. As we're getting ready to wrap things up here on the program for tonight, I'm getting a suggestion here that my next show should be with all party leaders. Oh, I would love to do that. Saphire, as we get ready to wrap things up here with this program, what do you think we've accomplished here tonight?
For me personally, yes. It was, let's see how I could say, heartfelt without being teary-eyed. When my uncle called, that meant a lot. Okay. That hit home. Listening to the people, their concerns. I mean, I totally understand their concerns, and rightly so. And it's an eye-opener as well.
What are you taking away from the program, from the calls, from those who have contributed, negative, positive, whatever the case might be?
I think we're moving. Dominica, right now, we are a more informed society. I think we're more woke, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's what's going to help propel us and move us to the next level, which is what we need as a country. We need to move away from the status quo that's not helping us.
What do you want to leave with not just the listeners of the program, or those who were probably a bit, if you want to say negative or otherwise tonight? What do you want to leave with those who are thinking, I could possibly think about giving this young lady and her party my support? What is the general message that you want to leave with everyone here tonight?
I think I want Dominicans to be more focused on helping themselves. Helping, almost like we have to come together for the common good. It's not just about me, it's not about a party, it's about us as a people. And I think we need to pull together without a choice right now.
And those who are thinking this young lady is out of her league, she's out of her mind, she might as well go back from when she came. What about those, the naysayers, those who think that,
Well, the naysayers make us stronger. It makes me want to work harder, do more, and just be there more for the people.
Final comments, Saphire?
We want people to start going out to register to vote, please. I cannot stress that enough. We need your voice. Just think of it, your voice is your vote. Some people are scared to talk and scared to speak. Right now, you don't need to speak anymore. You need to read up on the issues, make up your mind, make some wise decisions, and go out there and vote. If anything you need to do is make sure you vote. And yes, I will end it with the controversy of diaspora. We cannot stress enough how much we need your support and your votes and your help. I am in Dominica and I walk around, and there's a lot of changes that need to be made. They need your support. Dominicans, we need to pull together.
When will we hear from you again?
Next time you invite me, I'm ready to come on. There's enough seats for all the leaders.
Yes, there's quite a few seats in here. Good job, Q95, with that.
Yes.
By the way.
Thank you.
Yes, so that is how we're going to wrap it up on the In the Spotlight radio show for tonight. I really, really want to thank Saphire Carrington for being here. She knew she was going to come and experience what we refer to as a line of fire. She knew that, especially during the last couple of days since the post was made that she was going to be on. But still, you have to commend this young lady for being brave, for being bold, and for still coming on here tonight and sharing her story, talking about her party, and taking in all the questions and answering, I guess, to the best of her ability, or as much as she was willing to share, or she was able to share, as she referenced in some instances. It was my pleasure to have Saphire on the program tonight. And I thank all of you who contributed to the program via telephone, those of you who are viewing live on Facebook, and those of you who are listening otherwise. Those of you who are viewing via Wise Q95 Facebook page as well. And the constant listeners, those of you who came on tonight just for Saphire, I hope that you will continue coming on and tuning into the In the Spotlight radio show on a Monday night. I do invite you. We're here every Monday night from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, sometimes just a little over, but we're here. And we bring you stories about our Dominican people and topics of interest. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to Saphire. Thank you to Khadisha for being here. We want to thank Sherwin as well, who stuck around with us to make sure everything was okay tonight. But very importantly, thank you to you, the listeners and viewers and supporters of the program. We will be back next week, Monday, with another interesting guest on the In the Spotlight radio show. I know who next week's guest is. I just want to make sure that I confirm everything with him. sometime tomorrow and make sure that all is well, and we'll begin our promotion for our next guest. Until next time, thank you so much, everyone, and do have a good night.
Thank you.